It is the Riot Podcast. Happy Friday, December 2nd to you. Isn't it weird how we just have to start a podcast?
What do you mean, the intro?
Like we just have to go from not doing anything to starting doing something, talking about stuff we already did.
Well, we used to ask more in the past of do you guys need an intro or can you just have the podcast?
Yeah.
But I feel like, we enjoy this part.
It's not for y'all. It's for us.
Yeah.
We need more time to talk.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just weird how we go. I don't know how we just have to start it. I don't know. I just out of the blue, just start talking.
So today,
and make up stuff to talk about.
Hudson, you got to keep talking.
Yeah, that's right.
So today on the show, we talked about how some Little Debbies are not as widely available as they once were.
They're
Something's
disappearing.
happened with a certain country, and Little Debbie's used to be there, but why are they not there?
Yeah, and it's not just Little Debbie's either. It's also Bagel Bites, which I would argue. So here's the three things. It's all Little Debbie's, it's all Bagel Bites, it's all Bugles.
Yeah.
You guys seem to not care about Bugles. But what would upset you more if it happened to us? If Bagel Bites were all gone, or
Little Debbie's.
Yeah, Little
Really?
Debbie's.
You sure?
Because I don't really buy Bagel Bites.
But I don't really buy Little Debbie's either.
See, I don't
We just
either.
always have them in the break room.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I couldn't imagine myself going to Kroger and buying Bagel Bites. I would love them. If I had them in my freezer, I'd be so happy, and I would love to eat them. But I would never buy them because they're kind of expensive too.
They
for
are
what you're
expensive,
getting.
especially for what they are.
Yeah, so I would never really buy them. But Little Debbie's, on the other hand, I don't buy those either. But I feel like it's more likely that I'll eat one in the next year.
Yeah, I think, you know what? I think you're probably right. But I don't know. Do you enjoy Bagel Bites more than any Little Debbie, though?
No.
Yes, I think I do.
What? No.
Except for maybe a Swiss roll.
Easy there.
Swiss roll, I think I lean that way.
I'd rather have a Bagel Bite than a Swiss roll.
It's
I'll
close
tell
for
you
me.
what'll go first. If we have the Swiss rolls or the Little Debbie's and Bagel Bites, I still think it'd be all the chocolate stuff.
Yeah, that's probably true.
All right, what else did we talk about?
So we also talked about how 49% of singles say they ended up falling in love with someone they initially didn't find very attractive.
But these are also single people. Keep
Yeah.
that in mind.
Yes,
So they fell in love. It didn't work out.
didn't work out.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Don't point that
So
out.
that's 100% of people that are still together with somebody. Maybe they were attracted to them at first sight.
Are back
Maybe.
to being
Yeah,
single.
That's right.
Yeah. We also talked about how self-checkouts are covered in poop bacteria.
Yeah.
So
I
take
don't know.
that for what you want.
So we have all that, and if you're like, well, that sounds fun, we also do talk about a few trailers. So I don't know
Yes.
if it all makes it
big
in there.
trailer talk
But
today.
if not, have a chance over the weekend to catch up on the Transformers trailer. What was the other two? The Indiana Jones
Guardians.
and the Guardians of the Galaxy trailer. And then text us and let you know which one you like the most out of those.
Ooh, I will say, I got some slack, right, for not liking Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
But, in my mind, I look back, and Indiana Jones is so old.
It
What do you
is.
mean?
I remember my dad loved Indiana
Yeah.
Jones. So that's all I remember growing up. I think I'd have to watch. There was this horrible scene of things coming out of a coffin or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah,
And
it's Ark of the Covenant.
yeah, and I was just like, what are we watching?
You're like, what's
The
happening?
guy's face melts.
Yeah,
'cause,
that's the part. And my dad would be like, cover your eyes.
That's
Cover
right.
your eyes, Nikki.
There's also a scene in one of the movies where Indiana Jones pulls a guy's heart out.
Oh.
so, yeah,
Savage.
It's pretty intense, and I
Yeah.
think they're all rated PG.
I know. They're
Yeah.
all way more intense because I just remember
Well,
that, just something growing up. You're like, that was something my dad
the
watched.
funny thing too is with the guy's face melting, and I remember seeing that too as a kid. It's not realistic at all.
No.
And yet somehow it's still frightening to a young child's eyes.
Still scary.
Yeah, because for me, none of my friends we didn't really talk about Indiana Jones growing up, but the last movie came out when I was 10 years old. And then before that, every single one was before I was born. So I didn't really grow up with the whole Indiana Jones being a cool thing.
Yeah, I don't know, but Star Wars is even older than Indiana Jones. People still love that
Yeah, people
And
do like
that's-
that.
for some reason.
But that's a hard
That's
comp now.
because, again,
Star Wars to Indiana
dad
Jones.
your dad would watch that with you
Yeah.
growing up, and so you had to
and
watch it.
they never stopped making Star Wars stuff for better or worse.
Yeah, they kept
It's just
going.
been a constant stream since the 70s.
Well, if you watch the trailers, feel free to text at 8772 RadioU and tell us which one you're most excited for.
Is that enough?
Yeah, that can
Oh,
be
no.
enough.
No, you were going to say
I
something
was
else?
going to say
Tell
just
us
the other
one
thing we
more.
talked about. One more.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
We talked about some things you shouldn't take snowboarding with you if you don't want the police called on you. Or you calling the police.
Oh.
Yeah, you're telling on yourself if you do this. There you have it. That's what we've got coming up for
Well,
you.
enjoy the podcast. And if you're listening to this on a Friday, enjoy the weekend as well.
Oh, yeah. Have a good time.
Bye.
See you
Catch you
guys.
next time.
Don't say we didn't warn you. This is the worst of the riot.
We keep learning about things that you're not supposed to do with iPhones.
With iPhones?
Yeah, because iPhones are a little too
Expensive?
well, yes, that's one problem with them. But they get a little too excited about emergencies. They really want to call 911. Your iPhone does.
Oh, well, the newer ones, have the ability, if they think you're in an accident or an emergency, they could, dial 911 for you.
And apparently,
They have been.
they think you're in an accident a lot. We've already heard. I remember one back a while ago during summertime. People were going on roller coasters, and your iPhone was calling because it hurt. You're going fast and you're slowing down real quick. Big change in elevation. You're screaming. Your heart rate's up. All this stuff. So it was using its sensors to think that you were in some kind of accident, and it was calling 911 to Six Flags and all the amusement parks. Now, what we're learning is if you are going skiing or snowboarding, you might want to leave your iPhone behind.
They can also do that too?
The exact same thing. If you wipe out on the slopes, that might set off your iPhone and make it want to call 911 to try to save you.
Now, it's only with the 14s.
Okay.
And if you do wipe out, maybe you do need to call
That's what I was thinking. Maybe you actually do need to ring 911 if you have a bad wipeout.
You guys ever been skiing or snowboarding?
And I hate it.
Yeah. Did you wipe out?
No, but I didn't do enough to even wipe out. I absolutely
I was doing
hate
so
it.
little I couldn't even wipe out.
Yeah.
It's hard to wipe out on the bunny hill. No, I mean, if you're a skier or a snowboarder, it's normal, right? You're not going to go down without issues every single time. But if every single time you do have an issue, your iPhone's like, oh, call the police, call the EMTs, got to do something here. That's going to cause some issues. And in fact, what we're seeing this is just in Salt Lake City County in Utah. Mm-hmm. They say they're getting 3 to 5 false emergency calls a day from skiers and snowboarders where it's their iPhone automatically going off.
Now, it also could be from your Apple Watch if you're wearing that.
Oh, yeah.
They say you're prompted with an emergency message, and then you have 10 seconds to cancel the 911
And
call.
you got to think you have so much clothes on, too.
Yeah.
Like, you're not able to
You're
get to
not
your
getting
phone
to
in
your
time.
phone.
Or your Apple Watch. Like, it doesn't matter. If you have 10
Well,
seconds, there's no way.
And if you're going down the slopes and you lose your edge or whatever and you go flying, the first thing you do after you land is not, let me check my phone.
Yeah.
That's not, you're just kind of dusting yourself off and whatever, trying to make sure you got all your gear still attached. So
Trying to get your morale back after wiping out.
I mean, that's a great point too. It's already kind of, it's normal to wipe out from time to time, but then again, it's still kind of a blow to your ego a little bit, and nothing adds, and it hurts, and nothing adds insult to injury more than the police and or probably more likely medics showing up out of the blue unexpectedly. Hey, you doing okay? So that's not going to be great for you. So I don't know what the alternative is, because you can't just leave your iPhone or Apple Watch really behind, right? Because then what if you actually do wipe out and break your leg and
You need
nobody's
something.
around?
See, that's what I was thinking. Like, I mean, obviously it's just for the 14. So if you don't have a 14, you can take your phone with you.
Yeah.
But like, if everyone on the hill doesn't have their phone with them, if someone like wipes out at the very top of the hill and it's like really hurt, they're gonna be like, let me just go down real quick and get some help. Hopefully, I don't wipe out either.
I also feel bad because I feel like every time we hear about these reports, we're not doing enough exciting stuff to have our phone think that we're
That we're
possibly
doing an
in
emergency.
danger.
You're right. We should have a riot skiing day.
We're not skiing. We're not going on roller coasters at all.
It's fun though. I like skiing. Isaiah, you never skied.
I've never skied.
Snowboard?
You should
Never
try-
snowboarded.
You should try it.
I
You
should.
dress like you
Don't.
would.
Don't listen to him.
Why? Because I'm wearing a hoodie?
Yeah, you look like you should be in the Olympics.
You think so?
Yeah.
Maybe I have physique? Could that be it? Maybe not.
Maybe.
Maybe not.
No, yeah, we should have a skiing outing. That'd be
I'm
a lot
down
of fun.
for it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Sure.
But-
I'll hold
Nikki's
your
like,
phones.
sure.
I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
I hated it.
Nikki's the only one with the. Well, wait, you have the new phone too.
Yeah.
You guys both have to be careful up there then.
I think we'll risk it.
I can wipe out all I want. We'll be totally fine.
It's the worst of the riot on Radio U.
I saw some people freaking out yesterday,
About.
getting real worried about our beloved Little Debbies. I don't know if you saw, there was some headlines, and so I understand the concern. The headline would say something like, Little Debbie snacks disappearing from store shelves.
Like all Little Debbie's or just the
Yeah.
Christmas tree ones?
Little Debbie's to be discontinued. And so you might have seen those headlines popping up, and there was plenty of people that were and saying, uh-oh, this is bad news. What's going on? Is Little Debbie going out of business? But what they were missing was one important fact, and that is, it's still bad news, but the fact is that that's in Canada.
Oh, we're fine then.
No, well, then whatever.
We're okay. We're okay for now, but it's also military bases, so that's unfortunate.
Oh, no.
Yeah, we don't want to have our
You can sneak 'em
servicemen and
on.
women.
Yeah, just
that's
sneak them in there.
Now, a lot of people like to do like care packages, right, for the holidays.
You
to
know what
send
to
out.
send.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pop some Little Debbies in there.
Or if you have any care packages to your Canadian family.
Yeah.
That's right. You got to pop those in there too. Little Debbie in Canada. So this is how it works. If anybody's interested, the reason that they're going off of shelves is because Little Debbie just has they don't directly ship their stuff to stores in Canada. They have a distribution deal with one company that they give the Little Debbies to, and then that company sends out all the Little Debbies all across Canada. But that company, whichever company it was, decided to end the contract, end the relationship.
So Little Debbie's saying it has nothing to do with what they decided
they
to do.
did it. It wasn't their choice, but don't let Little Debbie completely off the hook here, because they say, or she says, that that they're not actively currently looking for another distribution partner for Canada right now. So
Sure.
if you're one of our Canadian listeners, you're out of luck as far as Little Debbies go. But we'll be happy we'll help you out now instead of I guess it's the trade-off, right? Because people go to Canada and they bring back the cheap drugs.
Yes.
And in exchange, we'll pay you in Little Debbie's.
Little Debbie's at the border.
Yeah, we'll give you fudge rounds.
Just be prepared if they check your car. What they're looking for.
You gotta watch out.
They say it's also bagel bites, which are no
Yeah.
longer going to.
Oh, I love bagel bites.
and
That's tough.
do you remember bugles?
Bugles?
What do you
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
remember?
Yeah, they're still a
Bugles?
thing.
You don't
Bugles
have
with
bugles
chips?
often.
We
No.
never have them.
They're for some reason, not every store in the United States has Bugles.
Well, now they're not.
Because they're not a very
unfortunately,
good chip.
in
Well,
Canada.
no, Bugles are pretty good.
Bugles? I'm not a fan.
Bugles are pretty. You never do that thing where you get the Bugles and
Put
you
'em
put
on
them
your
on your
fingers.
fingers.
Yeah, you make them like you have claws.
Like if I saw Bugles at a gas station or at a store, that would never be my first pick.
Oh, see, I might pick them out just because I'm excited to see them because
Oh,
I don't see
no.
them very often.
Well, now you know that those are the 3 items, the products that'll not be
that you can
available.
bribe.
Bagel
your-
bites were like a prominent snack for me as a child. Like if I had bagel bites in the freezer, I was like excited to go home and make those because when I was like 10 years old, like anybody can just stick bagel bites in the microwave and they're like a good snack.
Oh, your mom would let you make them?
Oh yeah! And when you were like a little kid, if you could like use the microwave, as most little kids should be able to do,
First thing you learn to microwave.
Was bagel bites.
Yeah.
and they were always fire every single time.
Yeah,
Or on fire.
Or on fire, either one of the two.
I'm with you on that. Bagel bites were huge when I was a child, but Bugles are back in the news recently because did you see I guess you probably didn't. They've teamed up with Hidden Valley Ranch, so there's now Hidden Valley Ranch branded Bugles. So if you find Bugles, you might want to taste those.
Yeah, I still don't think we care.
Yeah,
Yeah, now
it's still not doing it for me.
I'm gonna make it my mission to find the
You
Hidden
go
Valley
find
Ranch
'em.
Bugles so we can try them on the show.
Go find 'em.
To shut you guys up about your Bugles
The
slander.
Bugles are just not that good.
They're a solid chip, and they're also the only chip you can play as a musical instrument.
See, I think I would pick a Cheeto over Bugles, and that's how down bad
Well, that
Bugles
doesn't-
are.
That's not saying much at all.
It is for
You'd
me.
pick everybody would pick a Cheeto over everything here on the show, except for you. So yeah, pour one out, pour Bugle out for those Canadian listeners that are now without their Bugles and Little Debbies.
Sorry, you guys can't have them anymore.
Yeah. Or play what's the sad song that you play on the bugle when you're in the military?
Oh, Oh, oh my gosh. Thank you.
That would be
Hudson.
appropriate right
Yeah,
now.
that would be.
This is RadioU's worst of the riot.
Now, one of the questions people ask me all the time, they say, Hudson, how can you be so confident and proud of your body? Clearly, it's nothing to get excited about, and yet you strut around, and just by looking at you, we can tell that you appreciate your body. And I tell them always the same thing. You've got to get outside.
It's to work on the body.
That's what I say. You've got to get outside, spend time in nature. It will make you appreciate your body more. And now the advice I've been giving for years has been backed up by a study out of the country of Poland.
Oh, let's make sure we really listen to this, Isaiah.
Yeah, this seems very important.
This
We've always wanted to know your secret.
This
Yes.
is going to help you, okay? What they did in this test was they had several groups of young women about the average age of 24, okay? They actually had 87 women in total. And what they did was they asked the women to rate their appreciation for their body, the kind of their body image. They asked them to go ahead and rate that. Then they sent these ladies out to spend some time in a snowy woodland.
Oh.
Yeah. They said they had to spend about like 40-ish minutes out in the snowy woodland, and then they brought them back in and asked them the same questions again, reevaluate how you feel about your body. And their scores, their opinion of themselves went up.
Yeah.
It shot straight up.
Really?
And you know why it is?
Why?
At least what they theorize, I guess, is that after you have to spend time out in nature, it makes you think less the negative thoughts about your own body, but more you have an appreciation for what the body's functionality.
It's not true.
What do you mean it's not true?
You want to know why?
Why is that?
It's because you go out and you're wearing a coat.
That's what I'm thinking.
Don't you do this same study in summertime in a bathing suit?
And everybody's
it's
gonna go
coming back
way
feeling
down.
Good.
You know
There's
what?
no way.
You can
You
say
can't
that.
see your body because you're wearing a coat.
Yeah.
So you should just wear a coat inside all the time. is what
I'm
you're
just saying that's probably why you feel better coming back in.
Well, believe it or not, there's been previous studies that say it was already an established fact that spending time outdoors in green, they call them green spaces, that also has the same effect. And so this was actually the reason they were doing this was, well, what if it's like cold and wintry and snowy and not green and summery or springy? And they found that it had very much the same effect. So as long as you're not in a swimsuit,
Then you're
They
fine.
haven't tested the beach one yet, but I think you're probably right about that. But basically, the answer is you get out and walk around in nature, and it's going to make you feel better about yourself because you're not just lying around. That's not what your body was meant to do. Your body wasn't meant to lie around. It was meant to get out there, get moving. And they also found in this study that your appreciation of your body also happened to improve if you went out not alone, but with friends.
Oh, with someone else?
Yeah. So if you're feeling down, get some friends together.
And go outside.
Y'all go out and take a walk in the woods in the snow if it's snowy enough for that. But even if it's not snowy, get out there, take a walk. It'll make you feel better about
Just
yourself.
put your coat on.
Yeah, I've never felt less confident in my body than when I have a winter coat on and like a toboggan on my head and mittens. Like if you look in the mirror when you're wearing like winter gear, you're never gonna be like, dang,
Look at
I
me."
look good. Oh my gosh, look at me in this big puffy winter coat. Do I look shorter right now? Do I look a little shorter in this big puffy coat?
You look like a marshmallow.
Yeah, all of a sudden I'm without any hair on here, this toboggan on my head, and these winter gloves. I've never looked better.
It's not your finest moment.
Yeah.
Well, they say that if you engage in a natural environment like forests or even a park in your area, you'll have a range of benefits for physical and psychological well-being.
I've been saying this all along.
Yeah, we never heard you
That's
say
my
it. But
secret.
Oddly enough, I've never
My
heard this.
secret. But you have noticed how proud I am of my body, right?
You do kind of have this strut to you when you're walking around. I can't tell like if your back's hurting and you're doing like a weird thing or if that's just your walk.
That's his back stretch.
Yeah, that must be it.
And me feeling good from getting out in the world. Take it from me, Hudson. Get outside.
This is The Riot. Radio U.
This is that time of year. I think, in fact, now for many, it's probably a little late. If you wanted to get together with somebody that was going to be your significant other for the holidays, you left it pretty late now. it'd be.
Well, don't close out the door.
No, there's still a chance.
But it is probably harder because you don't have enough time to get close enough.
If you start dating somebody this weekend, are you buying them a Christmas gift?
You shouldn't. There's no way you should.
Hey, hang on.
If you want to, you can. But I would advise against it in the long run.
No, if you date any time in the month of December, though, you'd have to get them a gift.
No way.
Because
I
then
don't know about
they
that.
wouldn't continue into January because it'd be weird.
I just don't think you can do it. There's no way. If I
doesn't
meet a
have to
girl
be a
this
big
weekend and
gift.
she's like, I'm hanging out with her for the next 3 weeks, I don't think I can get her a gift. Seems a little much.
Yeah, I
You're
think,
a little much.
It might be.
No, I think I'm with Isaiah on this. I think your best case scenario if you start dating this weekend is you get a New Year's kiss.
That's it.
That's best case scenario, but the Christmas gift, you're not getting one, and you shouldn't be given
Well,
one.
at least take her out for a Christmas dinner.
Yeah, you can. I mean, you can do something Christmas Day.
Sure, yeah.
Take her to the zoo lights or something, but you don't need to be
That's all you've
getting her
got.
a gift.
Covered that. We've covered that
So,
several
like,
times.
the only date option.
The only one. Are there other Christmas things around here? I don't know.
Isaiah won't even take you to any other lights but the zoo.
But he
zoo lights.
also said that he's not going to do that.
I'm
at this
also
point.
not
He
gonna
thinks
do
it's
it
too
either.
romantic at this point in a relationship.
That is
for
true.
him,
I'm
so-
skipping too far ahead. I'm going
Yeah,
against myself. You
so-
shouldn't be doing that.
Have you been to
Right.
zoo lights in a while? It's
Not in a long time.
It's not romantic. It's a mess.
See, it seems like it's a little bit too much. Maybe we'll just do like a little drive around. That might be more better.
Then you look cheap. You won't take her in.
I am cheap. Hey, you know what? I am cheap, and you know what? I'll soak it.
The drive-through lights are like 40.
The drive-through
bucks.
lights are expensive.
They're
I'm talking about just
expensive.
driving through like a regular neighborhood is what we're looking for here. I am cheap, and I'll soak that. If you don't like it, you don't like me. That's how
You
it
know what?
goes.
Some of the neighborhoods to drive through the lights are way better than like the
Any
pay
place
to
you could
drive
pay
through
for.
Yeah.
lights, anyways. But okay. The reason I bring all this up is because we have a survey here. Match.com, or they now just call it Match, does this every year. Their survey of singles. They're just trying to like survey the field and see if you're a single person, how are you feeling? What are your priorities with dating and stuff like that? And so they found some interesting stuff. One of the things they chalk up to maybe like our new post-pandemic lifestyle is that singles are way more likely to be looking for a long-term relationship than to do something casual.
Sure.
Because right now, in this most recent survey, they said 74% of singles report that it's important to find a partner who wants to marry.
And buy you a
whereas-
Christmas present.
I'm not buying it.
Eventually,
One day.
not this year,
Maybe.
but 60. That's up from 60% if you go back 10 years ago.
Sure.
So people now are much more conscious about if you're single, you're actually looking to settle down a lot more than maybe was the case in the past. There's also an interesting tidbit that Isaiah found that 49% of singles say they have fallen in love with somebody who they initially didn't find attractive. You got a goofy grin on your face right now.
There's just
What
no
do you have to
way.
say?
I just think that's inaccurate.
Have you not met someone like that's actually pretty common, or not just like not attractive, but maybe they were a friend or something first, and you didn't think that they could be a special someone, and you never looked at them like that. You then fell for all the wrong people, and you finally come back around, and it was that person in the beginning the whole time.
See, I feel like, and I might be wrong on this, but I feel like the very first thing I think when I look at someone, like when I first saw Hudson the very first time, when I first saw Nikki, I walked up and I was like, are they attractive or not? That's the first thing I think of. If I meet you and shake your hand, you're like, oh, I'm a RadioU listener. I'm going to look at you and be like, good looking guy, not good looking guy, good looking girl, not good looking girl. So for me to be like, oh, I initially didn't find you attractive, and then I circled back and I was like, you know what? Maybe she's not that bad. That just hasn't happened a lot for
It's
me,
not,
I
see,
feel
you're
like.
looking at it the wrong way, though. It's not that the person's not that bad, but you look at them for other reasons. And sometimes those other reasons help a relationship, too.
I could see possibly
Possibly, maybe.
what you're saying.
I don't know. I think I understand Isaiah's thought process. I think it's just a dude thought process
Mentality.
of you evaluate everybody the first time you meet them of, am I attracted enough to like this person? Like, I don't know. I think that's just a guy way of thinking, which is why I was going to say,
Which is
I
why
bet
there's
you
a study about it.
it's
Yes.
half and half, and it's 49%. The 49% are all women. And I think they're probably not attracted to any man when they initially see him.
That is very accurate.
And eventually, somehow their personalities manage to win the lady over. I don't know how that works, but that's what I gathered. That's what I gleaned from that statistic. You guys see anything else? I mean, it's a big survey. There's a lot of data here to go over.
There is a lot. I mean, it's almost too much, but just have fun this month, all right? Don't worry about it.
No
if you
pressure.
meet someone, no pressure. Just have a good time. Go hang out at the zoo lights.
Yeah. If you meet someone, let me tell you this. If you meet someone in the month of December, you are not permitted to take them to your Christmas. That's just a fact, just so you know. So if you do that, you're in the wrong category.
I would like to chime in and take back what he just said.
No way. You're not allowed. You're not allowed.
You're more than welcome
You're not
to.
allowed. You cannot do that. It's not allowed.
No, it's not a Hallmark movie, Nikki. This is real life.
Yeah, you can't introduce them to your parents.
No,
You're not
yet.
allowed.
It's too soon.
Hi, Mom and Dad. We actually met last weekend. Did you get her a gift?
Do you know
No.
what?
Yeah, right.
Your mom would be happy
Yeah,
if you brought someone home.
If I brought someone to Christmas, I'm like, actually, we've known each other for 7 days, but I thought this might be a good time to introduce you.
Your
to
mom
them.
might be excited. I don't know if your date would be.
The Riot with Hudson and Nikki on Radio U.
Okay. Nikki, I know you're too good to use the self-checkout.
No, I don't mind.
You do it? You use the self-checkout?
Okay, if I go to the grocery store, I'd rather check myself out because I don't do well with people. So I'd
Having
rather...
to communicate.
We can tell.
Yeah, like
We
I
can
would just
tell.
say. But my issue is I go to Costco mostly, and they have self-checkout, but that gives me more anxiety because I normally have like a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's all big things, and it's not
Yeah.
easily self-checked out.
Yeah. I got to tell you, I'm a big self-checkout guy, but what I hate is you can't, at many grocery stores, and the one that I typically go to up until very recently, you can't do like a whole grocery shop at a self-checkout because it just has the one little spinny thing of bags.
Oh, yeah.
And you quickly run out of room for all the groceries you bought, at least when you're like me and you're buying up all kinds of food.
But now most
I'm
stores,
a hungry man.
they don't have enough workers, so they want you to check yourself
which
out.
is why my grocery store, I was very relieved when recently they put in the self-checkouts with the belts. So now I'm more of a self-checkout guy. But, well, quickly, Isaiah, are you a self-checkout guy? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
But I don't usually get a lot of stuff when I go to the grocery store, so for me, it's really
I
easy.
know, you eat out all the time.
All the time.
So what I'm finding, though, is if you're a self-checkout person like myself, and we all embrace the self-checkout here, it sounds like, you might want to rethink that because some recent research by Dr. Adam Roberts in the UK, this was backed by the National Health Service public health officials in the UK. They went ahead and swabbed a bunch of different everyday items that you would interact with, you might be touching and whatever, to see like what is on them. And one of the particularly alarming things they found is that
On the
self-checkouts are covered in many different types of bacteria. The phrase they use for it is they carry high bacterial loads.
Of what?
Well, one of the worst things they found on there is a bacteria called Enterococcus, it looks like, which is a bacteria found in feces.
So are people pooping at the self-checkout, or what
when
are
you
we
say
doing?
feces, do you mean like urine?
No, it's poop.
Urine is urine. Feces is...
Feces,
That's
yeah.
ridiculous. How do you even get that on your hands? Like, what in the world are you doing?
You know what?
I think we'd be very disappointed to find out what people are doing.
If I ever got my hands swabbed and I had poop on them, I would be so embarrassed. I would be shocked.
I
by
think we
that.
should do that.
I think we should. I would
We should
lovingly
swab everybody's hands
swab
on the
my
show so he has
hands.
the cleanest hands.
I mean, do I wash my hands that much? No, I don't. I'll be honest.
Okay, then you definitely have
But
fecal bacteria on your hands.
But
You're the
there's
reason
no
why these
way.
are covered
Listen,
in high bacterial loads.
there's no way I have poop on my hands because I've never gotten poop on my hands. Actually, I have gotten poop on my hands, but
No, they just say it's in the
it's in the air.
it's in the air.
Oh,
like in the
okay. Well, then-
bathroom.
Well, that's fair then. Then I probably
So
do.
yeah, what are you supposed to do? Not go in the bathroom?
Then everybody has it on their hands. Then
Yeah.
if it's just air poop, that's completely different. That's way different.
First off, I love air poop.
But
That's great.
there's like the baseline level of air poop bacteria that is like kind of naturally occurs everywhere.
Yeah.
But then there's high bacterial load air poop that's on the toilet, or
So they say-
that's on the self-checkouts that we need to be concerned about.
It's not just self-checkout. It's also like door handles, your keyboards and stuff, anything tech-wise that you use. Because a lot of people bring, like your phone in the bathroom, and
Yeah.
it might not be as clean as you think.
Probably not.
Yeah.
If I had to guess. If I had to go out on a limb, I'd say that my
So,
phone's probably real dirty.
Your phone's disgusting.
You could also get E. coli. That's a very common one.
Yeah, so I don't know if you've ever picked up on this, but if you watch me when I'm coming like in and out of the studio and stuff, on all of anytime I'm opening a door, you see this like the flannel I always wear.
Yeah.
It serves another purpose besides just being fashionable, stylish. I also use it on the door handle so I don't have to actually touch
so
them.
you don't touch them then.
But I don't think I can do that at the self-checkout. Use my flannel as a barrier between me and all you people's disgusting bacteria.
I saw someone use, the gloves.
Yeah.
And so, like, maybe that's not as weird.
I know. I think
You'll look weird, but
that's
maybe
what I
it's
always
better.
think. I see people like that sometimes, and I'm like, really? But now that I see the study, I'm like, really? Good idea.
No, you're not wearing gloves.
You got to get the latex gloves out.
Yeah, you use
No
those.
way. If I
Protect
catch you
myself.
using your flannel again on the door handle, I'm gonna be disappointed.
I've used my flannel on the door handles and like touching toilet flushers and stuff like that in public since long before the
Sometimes
pandemic.
I'll use the foot. If I
Yeah.
want to flush the toilets,
Yeah.
I'll use the foot. But it kind of depends where I am. Here at Radio U, I just use the hand. I
You're
just walk
comfortable.
straight out.
Here at Radio U, I'm extra aware of using the flannel because Isaiah doesn't wash his hands. So.
Well, whenever I do, it's really special, though.
So Julia texted in, does this say, is the bacteria found good or healthy bacteria? Because sometimes, your body
Yeah.
needs to be around some bacteria.
It's interesting that she brings that up.
So you don't like die completely
Yeah.
when you are exposed
Like a little
to the
poop in the mouth. It's never that bad for you, right? It's a little on the tongue.
It says that it is like this is a bacteria that does naturally and would naturally be found in your intestines, in your gut.
But they say it's larger amounts of it.
Yeah, and if you are to ingest it or like get it in your eye or something, then you're in for some trouble.
So if you're checking yourself out of the grocery store, don't lick anything and don't
Definitely
rub
don't
your
do that.
eye on anything.
and then you're just adding to the bacteria as well as picking up some of it.
yeah, I'm gonna go. Let's just go all wash our hands.
So we can take a chemical bath right now.
That sounds good.
Thanks for watching the worst of the riot. Since you made it this far, you might as well like, subscribe, and check out riot.radiou.com for even more riot.